Alright, I am going to be doing my project on setting up a custom ringtone for the Cisco IP phones through the CUCM. To do this, you are going to need an MP3 file, you're going to need an audio editing program, and then you are going to need a TFTP client. So once you have all of those things, you will be good to go. I'm going to come over here to my VMs, make sure we have our CUCM VM up and running, good to go. Then we also have a VoIP client open with the Cisco Unified Operating System Administration page open. We're going to be using that later. So once we have those set up, we're good to get started setting up the TFTP client. So I will be using TFTPD64, which is a free TFTP client. It's easy to use. It's going to start us off like this. We're going to go over here into TFTP client tab. I have already configured this, but we will walk through it. We're going to enter in the host name of the host IP of the CUCM, which is 192.168.90.10. And then when we get down to local file, we're actually going to create a new folder. So I already have this folder created, but I'm going to go to the location I wanted to create it in, and I wanted it in my local disk, users, Ethan, documents, and I named this folder TFTP import. So here we have this folder I created, and we're going to get the location of it. So properties, it looks like C users, Ethan, documents. We're going to keep that. Go on back to our client, and then the local file here, we are going to paste that. Get the users, Ethan, documents, and then you do have to add on the folder that you made. It doesn't do it up to the folder, so we're going to have to add on that TFTP import. And then the last thing we're going to have to add on is a /ringlist.xml. And now that is a case sensitive. The R needs to be capitalized. That is going to get the default ringtone list from the Cisco IP phones. And then here under remote file, we're gonna just put what we added on to the end of the local file, the ringlist.xml. And so now we're going to test to see if this can connect to our host IP on the CUCM. Looks like since that was already made, we're gonna overwrite it. And perfect. This output means that we do have the client is pulling the file from the call manager server. So once we have that done, we're actually just gonna go back to that folder that we made. We're gonna click on it and see here that we have this ring list. We are gonna open this with Notepad to see all of our default ringtones on the Cisco IP phone. So perfect. We can minimize that because we will be coming back to edit that later. And now we are going to open up our Audacity program, which is the audio editor, and we are going to be getting our MP3 file ready to be used with the IP phones. So in Audacity, we're going to go into File and Open. We are going to open our MP3 file. Alright, here it is open, so we'll give it a test. Alright, so everything is all good there. So one of the first things we're going to do is change the project rate of this sample. The default is far too high for the IP phones to handle. We are going to have to lower it to its lowest value of 8,000. we'll go ahead and see the difference that makes in the audio quality. So instantly sounds much more compressed. So after we have changed the project rate there, we are going to have to make this sample mono for the IP phones to use. And we're going to do that by clicking the drop down menu of this sample, and we are going to click on split stereo to mono. Now this is going to split the sample into 2 mono tracks. We are only going to need one of them. So we are going to exit out of another one, and that leaves us with this one. And then now we have our sample. So you can see that it's about 30 seconds long. That is going to be too long for the IP phones. I've found between about like 10 and 12 seconds is what you'll want to be looking for. Anything more than that, it does start to cause distortion, and it will have issues uploading the file to the CUCM. So one thing we are gonna, or lastly, what we're gonna do is just drag this down to right at about 10 seconds. And then that will be good to use with our IP phones. So once we have our new audio file, we actually won't need to save this. We'll just need to export it. So go into File, Export, and we are going to export this as a WAV file. So, looks like it has opened up to the folder I want to save this in. Looks like we should rename it. Let's rename it to Custom Tone. Alright, Custom Tone. We are not going to save this as a WAV type, even though it was being exported that way. It's going to be saved as an other uncompressed file type. And then before we save it, you are going to need to go into the format options. And for header, you're going to need to use the RAW format. And for the encoding, you're going to need to use the ULAW. Hit save there. That's going to bring up this dialog box that we will hit OK to. Now, we can go back into that where we saved the raw file into to see that we have right here, perfect, the custom tone, and we can see it in a raw file. So everything is all good there, and we can move on to going into the ringtone list. So let's go back to where we made our TFTP import folder, which is going to be in users, Ethan, documents, TFTP import. Alright, there's that ring list, which we actually do already have open in the notepad. So this is going to give us all of the default tones. We can take a look like at one. We've got Clock Shop display name, and then it's taking the Clock Shop raw file. So we, to edit this, are going to scroll down all the way to the bottom, and let's see, oh, looks like might want to fix this formatting quickly. Alright, makes it a little more uniform. So we are going to copy right here, and we are going to hit copy. As you can see, I already do have a custom tone one there, and that was with an old raw file. So we're just gonna hit enter, tab it once, and paste. Let's see, help our formatting a little bit. So this is the one that we duplicated. So now with our new one we're going to use for this lab, let's alter it or change it a little bit. Let's call it custom tone 1, and then it is going to use, let's see, we can go back into here. It's going to use our custom tone.raw. So we have here we have our custom tone.raw, and we're going to save this. Alright, we have this saved. Now we are going to go into the CUCM. Okay, we can minimize that. Alright, we've got our CUCM open. The Cisco Unified Operating System Administration. And then from here we are going to go into software upgrades. We are going to do TFTP file management. Alright, here we can upload files. We're going to hit upload file. Alright, so here we are going to browse a file to upload. This is going to bring up our virtual machine desktop. We actually are going to be able to take the files we want from our actual computer and just drag and drop it over onto our VM. So the first thing you're going to want to do is get that list uploaded. So we are going to go into users, Ethan, documents, TFTP import. So we've got our ring list here. We're going to take that, drop it in. If we go back over here, file upload, ringlist.xml, and open, then we're going to hit upload file, and we see file uploaded successfully. So we've just uploaded the default ringtone list to begin with, and now we are gonna upload our raw file. So we will just go back to here and hit browse, come back over to our file explorer, and we'll go, we have the custom tone raw file. We're gonna drag and drop that, file upload, custom tone, and hit open and upload file, and we'll see that again, that we have the file upload successful. So now, after we have done that, we are going to navigate over to the Cisco Unified Serviceability. Alright, that is going to have me log in as app admin, and then it's gonna take me a second here to do this password one-handed. Alright, let's get that. I'm gonna save there. Alright, so once we are all logged into there, we are going to go into Tools, and then we're going to go into the Control Center Feature Services. Alright, that is loading here. And then we are going to scroll down into the Call Manager Services. So we are going to see that we have Cisco TFTP is started. We are going to want to restart that service. So we're going to click on it, and we're going to come to the top here, restart, hit OK. So once that service restarts, we will actually be good to go for the most part. We will then be able to go into the IP phone, and we will be able to then change the ringtone around. So alright, everything good to go there. Let's get all of this minimized. We will bring up our Cisco IP phone. From here, you're going to want to go into the settings, the user preferences, we're going to hit select, rings, we're going to hit select, starts you out on the default ringtone, we're going to select right into this, and here we bring up our ring list that we got imported from the TFTP client. Remember, we went down to the bottom of the list to make our tone. And look at there, we've got our custom tone, and then custom tone 1, the one we're going to select that. Let's play. Alright, so everything's going there, and let's save that. Alright. So now we can see our default ring is the custom tone 1. We're going to exit out of all of this. And then let's give it a try. Let's give it a call with another phone and see what we get. So we've got our other phone here. Let's try it. 1000. And you can see we have our custom ringtone going. Give it a little second, it will re-loop like that. And there we have it. Setting up a custom ringtone in the CUCM. Thank you.